Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. I'm speaking with Larry Reaugh, President and CEO of American Manganese. Welcome back to the show, Larry.
Glad to be here, Jim.
Larry, I understand you've got some big patent news for us.
Yeah, we put out the release that we filed for our full patents in the U.S., and that's a real milestone for the company. That's the second time we've done this. The first time was with the manganese patent, and all that work and money that went into that, and it was several millions of dollars, certainly is paying off today in developing a patent for recycling lithium-ion batteries and recovering the material. And I'd like to just go into a little bit of detail about what that all means for our shareholders. The patent application covers us off, protects us in a couple of hundred countries, I believe, and we are probably the first company out there that has applied for a full patent for recycling of LIB batteries. Now, that's important in itself, but the thing that we have to realize about this is when we talk about our patent, we're talking about over $1 million spent to recover 100% of the cathode metals. And those cathode metals are lithium, cobalt, nickel, manganese, and aluminum. Now that's 100% recovery. I've seen other companies that are talking about much lesser percentages or just one product only, and they certainly haven't reached the patent stage that we have. As a matter of fact, I don't think most of them have even filed for a patent. Now, that said and done, what does 100% recovery mean? And one thing that I should point out is that we now can claim 100% recovery of lithium. It used to be 92%, but now it's 100%. So that's a big step forward. So now we're at 100% of everything, which makes it easy for me to figure out, for sure. But the important part about this is when you're talking about 100% recovery, you're talking about no waste stream. If you're only talking about 90%, 80%, somewhere in that range recoveries, then you've got a waste stream. So you don't have a real environmentally friendly, green, closed-loop process because you've got waste that has to be dealt with. We don't. We get 100% of it back. Now that's a big plus over mining material. You never get 100% of the mining material. The ores in mining. So you have to remember, we're starting with 100% purity materials to start with. So, it's a lot of work, but you can, and we have gotten 100% of that back. So going forward, if you're a EV company or a battery manufacturing company and you claim that you're all green and that everything you do helps the environment, it's not quite true if you're not recycling the batteries, if you're not getting 100% of the materials. When I say materials, a 1,000-pound battery has a skin, which has aluminum, stainless steel. The harnesses for the batteries themselves consist of copper and plastics and all kinds of other ingredients that go into a battery. Those are easily recyclable because they can be dismantled and sent to a recycling yard that specializes in that. The thing that we focus on is the battery itself, the cells, which could be 9,000 or 12,000 cells per battery. And so we're concerned about the battery, and we're concerned about disassembling that battery. As a matter of fact, we are beginning to look into the disassembly of the batteries, and that'll be part of our focus in the coming year, because we want to automate that system robotically so that we can get the foils out so that we can treat them, not only for the cathode material, but we'd also want to work at getting the anode material back. Price of graphite's been going up, so it's becoming Again, we don't want to put anything back into the environment. Although graphite is a fuel itself, so if you burnt it, you wouldn't be adding that much detrimental stuff to the CO2 gases to the environment. But we think we can get the anode material back. What else does the patents tell us? Well, it tells us that there are ways that we can increase profitability, increase the conservation of water, decrease the use of the reagents, etc., etc., etc. So we'll be looking at other patents to file in the next coming year. And that is improvements to the technology. So this is a real milestone for the company. You can remember, here's the first company out there to apply for a full patent for recycling LIBs. And I'm sure that the automobile companies will be interested in what we're doing. For example, I've talked about the scraps before, and, I've talked about 10% scraps, but that number fluctuates. It could be 5 to 10, somewhere in that range. And, but even so, that's a lot of scrap material to start with. So when we commercialize a plant, we'll build it to the specifications of what we can get on hand. People ask the question, well, how are you going to get them to give it to you? Well, I think first off, the battery manufacturer, the EV company itself, are looking at ways to decrease costs in their batteries, and certainly having to pay a $3 per pound tipping fee for a scrapyard to take it takes away from the bottom line. We could take that for nothing. Maybe we could even pay for it. But, we don't have the economics on that, but we'd certainly be able to take it for nothing. You look at the value of these batteries, again, I keep coming back to that subject. We're looking at even the lithium cobalt aluminum battery, which has got the lowest value of cathode materials or metals. But that value is still $1,700 a battery, or $3,400 to $3,500 a ton. And if we had that in an ore body, we'd be leaping over the moon. So mining batteries has a lot of logistics to it that beats out mining ore. And that is that you have much smaller plants because your feedstock is very concentrated, so you've got much smaller plants, less capital intensive, nothing going back into the environment. Permits should be very easy to obtain. You can go into an industrial park in a city, set these things up. So when you start looking at the advantages that are out there, they're tremendous. The disadvantage, the perception is that there's going to be second use in batteries. I don't see that as ever really getting off the ground. Sure, you can have second use in some of the facilities that you use, but why would you tie up valuable cathode material when you can use less or cheaper cathode materials to build a brand new wall unit? So this patent really is a turning point for the company. And is that going to bring people to our door? I believe it will. I mean, they won't ignore us forever. And we're starting to see more write-ups, more interest from some of the mainstream out there. And I think that's only going to increase. And I think the shareholders are going to benefit very greatly from that. So what's that mean? That means that the trading like today, where you get a huge block of stock knocking the price down, perhaps that wasn't an investor. That was somebody else with another agenda. Anyway, we'll eventually reach our goals. We'll eventually increase the market cap. Certainly, the value of our technology is much more than our existing market cap. And we're proud to be the leaders in this. So I say to my shareholders, have a great long weekend. I know the market's open, but our offices will be closed. And but have a great long weekend, knowing that the project has been significantly de-risked. You know, we're covered with the patent. We know we can get 100% of the material back. We're very optimistic that the pilot plant will prove out as we expect it will. And I think I'd like to extend a great deal of thanks to the scientists and the CEO of Cometco. They've worked hard and they're very proud of this achievement. They know a disruptive technology when they see one.
Larry, for new listeners, can you maybe explain the process that American Manganese has helped develop? And I understand it recovers cobalt, a very rare and very expensive metal.
Yes, it does. It's a hydrometallurgical process that we have borrowed from our existing manganese patent, certain aspects of it. And you know that patent has a history since the Second World War with the U.S. Bureau of Mines. We're the ones that were able to, with Cometco again, back in 2010, we were able to get the manganese out of very low-grade ores at a cost similar to China. And that was another milestone for the company. So now we've adapted some of the new technologies to the existing patent to get out the cathode metals, and that includes cobalt. We'll get 100% of the cobalt. In a lithium cobalt battery, Tesla's lithium cobalt battery, each battery has about $6,000 worth of cathode material, and the majority of that is cobalt. And cobalt's in very short supply, and it's going to get shorter. So, you know, we'll be, eventually, could become a major producer of cobalt.
Where is your company traded and under what symbols?
We're traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange Venture under the ticker symbol AMY. We're traded in the U.S., ticker symbol AMYZF. Frankfurt, ticker symbol 2M. Our website is AmericanManganeseInc.com. You can contact the company, me directly at LREAUGH@AMYMN.com. Or you can give me a phone call at 778-574-4444.
Larry, thanks for the update.
You're very welcome.
I've been speaking with Larry Reaugh, President and CEO of American Manganese. I'm Jim Goddard. We were speaking on November 10th.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.